King, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to up my IQ. It's the off season. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in until the point with the king. You guys know what to do. Find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us. Click subscribe, click like. Thank you for supporting our fantastic guests. And if you're watching, you're part of the To The Point family and supporting our To The Point family, especially my guy right there, all the way from the East Coast to your home, the one and only Coach Tim Roach. How's it going, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. Speaking of the East Coast, I'll be going there next week, a little over next, yeah, almost 10 days from now. So
Bring back
good
some
stuff.
lobster.
Lobster? Depends on, I have to go to a certain place to probably get the lobster. There's different seasons, out there, but see what I can do.
I don't know how it is out there, but enjoy your time with your family and everything out there, man. We all wish you nothing but the best. Okay, and
Yep.
Fit Nation, this one's for you, especially you, Lex. Okay, so, Coach, the reason why I asked you to come on today is because you've been part of it. We're doing player profiles during the off season of each individual Raptors player, right? And we've already covered Scotty, of course, Grady, yeah, RJ, yeah. So let's get into something which I alluded to earlier, upping my IQ. Immanuel Quickley. So my question to you is, what do you think about him coming to the Toronto Raptors last season from what you've witnessed? Your eye test. Come on.
Quickly coming over, I think, was viewed as the main part of the deal. The Raptors needed point guard. No offense to Dennis Schroeder. I don't know if he's a starting point guard on a contending team. I think Quickly with his age, Quickly's 25 years old now. He just turned 25. I think when you kind of measure what he might be in a few years, I think he can be a playoff contending point guard as of now. And he has a skill set that many of the guards today have. You got to be able to shoot the three. You got to be able to make pull up threes as well. Tyrese Maxey is like a bit of a comparison in that regard. Obviously, Maxey is better, but I don't think Quickly is so far away from him as people might think that he is. Quickly also comes from a good program in New York. Like they've done well the last. He hasn't put up with any shit, and I think that Quickly and RJ have brought that over. I know this is more about Quickly, but I think it's trying to develop a culture and a mindset of players that bring a certain level of professionalism. And I think Quickly does. I've been watching him on some of his social media and stuff. Looks like he's training hard. Looks like he's gotten bigger too. And that was needed. He was a little small last year, and you could see when he was trying to get into the paint how
Yeah,
that
right now,
affected him.
currently, all the Raptors are in Malago, Spain, at the sanctuary, and he's chilling. But go on.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, but I believe it's a guard driven league, but two-way wings win championships. The Kawhi Leonards, the Giannis of the world, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, that kind of thing. But at the same time, if you don't have a guard who can play, good luck winning a championship.
You know what, Coach? I will say this: from what I saw from this past season of him coming to the Raptors, playing, I believe it's 38 games that he played. Every, just like RJ, every single one of his individual stats in every category has gone way up. Okay, he's very impactful and very properly utilized on this team alongside RJ, Scotty, whoever else is on the floor, right? But that's basically the core, including, yeah, you got to get some dick sometimes, right? But grade E dick, not grade F. Anyway, let's but from a standpoint, like seeing how he's been properly utilized as Toronto's main point guard, Darko I think has really taken advantage of that in a good way, in a good way, in a good way. No Diddy. Okay. Um, Now you and I both as former coaches, well, you still currently coach, so do I. But you know,
Well, not really. No, I don't really anymore.
yeah, I know I'm kind of in and out. But
Yeah.
us as coaches, right? What do you see from him from a coach's standpoint and what he could provide on the floor to help the team win?
One of the toughest actions to guard in the NBA, and it's been this way for quite a few years. Actually, Sam Mitchell, former coach of the Raptors, brought it up. He says it's
Met him
really
in real
tough to
life.
guard the screen. He
I
could
met him
be.
in real life. He's an asshole. But go on.
Gotcha. But he said one of the toughest things to do in the NBA is guard, screen, and roll. It's still that way today. There's so many different actions you can take off a screen and roll.
Shout out to
And
Bobby Tootsis. You already know what it is, buddy. That's why we never lose. Go on. Sorry, I digress. I'm digressing again.
no, but I think quickly can be utilized in many of those actions. But when they did the trade with him, you
Mhm.
heard Masai on the um, Raptors show, Raptors YouTube videos that they make, and he said, "We can't wait to put you and Scotty together." Here's the problem: I maybe can count on one hand how many screen and roll actions they ran for Quickly and Scotty. They didn't run very many this year during their time. They need to do more of that.
Right.
If I was coaching that team, I want to see more high screen and roll actions with either Scotty going downhill as the roll man, or if he's hot, Scotty can pop out and quickly, no pun intended, is pretty quick off the dribble to take his guy to the hoop. Now he's got to get stronger and be able to angle his body so when he goes to the rim that
Mhm.
he's able just to um, use his strength to kind of push off the big guys who will be switched off onto him. So I would be looking to do a bit more of that, and I'd be looking to also have him be a spacer on offense as well. So if Scotty or RJ has it going, if you have quickly set up for three on the floor, we all know he shoots 40% from three. Hard if they're going to leave him open, right? So that just opens up their game as well. When you have a guard who has the reputation being able to shoot 40% from three, especially in today's game. So I would be looking to do that with him. Now they did that with him a bit last year, but they got to have more screen and roll actions with him and Scotty this year. There's no reason why they can't do that 5 times a game at
I
least.
noticed they had more with him and RJ, but
They could have, but
I
mind you, I
noticed.
get it. There was a lot of injuries last year and stuff like that. But something I really hope that they do in training camp in the preseason because this is their core moving forward. I mean, quickly is a big part of it. RJ and Scott are their wings. There's two of them, and there's one guard, and that's quickly.
Yep. I really do see nothing but the best for him. If Darko can utilize him in a certain way, like you said, off the screen and rolls, but I also see him being like obviously he doesn't have to bring up the ball all the time. You got Scotty to do that, basically the point forward, right? You got him to do that. So quickly can play off of that, like you just mentioned about the 3 pointers. He can get himself open, right? Because most teams, like you know, as a coach, if you're when you're coaching right now, if you were to look at the squad and you're the opposing quote coach, who are we going after? We're going after Scotty, then RJ, then quickly, right? So he gets, I guess you could say, from the standpoint of who you're guarding and who you're going after, he's like basically the third option, you can say, right? And now that Gary Trent is gone, he has more room for that, especially a pretty damn good shooter from the outside. I would, me as a coach, that's how I would use it, right? I'd have him bring up the ball, pass it to RJ or Scotty, right? Set him up for an open shot or send him down to the lane, depending on the mismatch, wherever it is, right? I think he can be utilized very well. And I'm very, very happy that he is here in Toronto. And I enjoy seeing a smile on his face, the camaraderie, right now with the rest of the team. I really enjoy it. So now that leads me to my next question for you, Coach. What do you see his trajectory as a Toronto Raptor?
The numbers that he had last year when he was in Toronto, after the trade had happened. I think he averaged almost 19 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. We had a guard in Toronto that basically had those numbers,
Yep.
and his name was Kyle Lowry. You go
Yep.
back and look at Lowry's numbers, they're very close to that. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be Kyle Lowry. I don't see why on offense he can't be him or a little bit better. Quickley's actually bigger than Lowry. Now, Lowry
Well,
was
not his butt, though.
defensively. It might not be as good in the post. But defensively, I'm not making that comparison there. Lowry was a really good defender, really his defense and his defensive awareness was quite something, and his ability to take charges. I don't know if I
That's what I
quite
was
see
gonna say.
that from Quickley, but that's where Lowry became like a really special player. I think if Quickley can improve on the defensive end, it's going to be really helpful to him and this team. I'm not worried about his offense. I think he's going to be anywhere from
Yeah, he's
18
sound.
to 20 points a game, 6 to 7 assists, maybe 4 to 5 rebounds. That's Kyle Lowry numbers at his peak,
On 40%.
more or less, as a Raptor. Yeah. And the only problem when you look at some of his defensive numbers, they're not great. His defensive box plus or minus numbers. Now, even with the Knicks, they were in the negative. I think with the Raptors, it was the lowest at negative 1.3. But mind you, the team couldn't guard you or I next last year. That's how bad they were defensively. Mind you, some of it was due to injuries, some of it's due to all the trades and the
And
lack of
Coach is shorter than
talent
me.
that they have.
So, and I'm a short guy. Go on. Sorry. I
Yeah, no.
had to hit that up, man.
I'm just saying they couldn't guard any of us last year. They were giving up 125, 130 points per game during many games. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. And if anything, that's where the focus has to be in the offseason for many of these guys, including Quickley. Quickley at times going to be your point of attack defender. And when he's not on the floor, it's probably going to be Davion Mitchell. But Quickley has to get better at that, for sure. I'm not worried about his offense. It's the defense. The defense, his individual defense, and the team defense has to get better. Because when your wings are probably going to be R.J. Barrett and Grady Dick, potentially, or even Bruce Brown, that's not great. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, see, I agree with you 100% on that one with what he needs to step up. But I think right now, to me, pretty solid for that role, right? Yeah, point of attack defense. Yeah, you damn right he's got to step that up, right? Be more aware. But see, but he also has there's all these cogs in the machine right now, especially the Raptors drafting basically a starting 5 rookie team, right? So there's a lot more within that, Kelly coming out of the Olympics, you got Yak, right? You have a lot of cogs in the machine, and I think that he can be a major cog in the machine going forward for next season and the season after, at least, right? I think he'll be a major part and a major player within it. I see nothing but the best for this kid. I'm telling you, I would have him on my squad as a point guard anytime, right? I would not mind. I would never say no, right? Go ahead, take
Yeah.
the team. I really do like it, but like I said, this is something I'm gonna throw it out for you, buddy. I'm gonna give you a bone here because I know you wanted to talk about this. I know it's been itching you, right? But speaking of the cogs in the machine, can we bring up one name that you predicted the Raptors would draft right here on this show? And his name is C.Koloko. What are your thoughts on him possibly returning to the Raptors? This is just a side one for you guys. Let Coach have the floor. Let him talk. Let him cook.
Right. Well, apparently his doctor has cleared him of all that had bothered him. I think with the blood clots. I think he's free of the blood clots now. And he just has to go through, I think it's a committee in the NBA of doctors. They have to clear him if he's able to proceed um, to practice, training camp, things of that nature. I would be really excited if Koloko came back. Now, they have a spot open on this team. One guaranteed spot is still open. I know they signed the Fernando kid, but that's just to a training camp deal.
Yeah.
I think they left that open for Koloko. I think they've been. I'm sure they're close and they're connected to his agent just to say, looks like he might be able to return. They're saving that spot open for him. I said about a
Paul.
year and a half ago. I said about a year and a half
I
ago
caught a
about
disease there. But go on.
yeah about if you have Pirtle and Koloko on your team, you're probably okay at center for the next 3 to 5 years. Obviously, Koloko is younger. I think Koloko has a bit more offensive upside in terms of being able to stretch the floor, shooting. I think he's a better athlete as well. Now, Pirtle's going to be a better defender right now, just in terms of like where to be on the court. He's a bit bigger than Koloko as well. But I think if you had those two, I feel a lot better than Pirtle and Kelly Olynyk. If Kelly Olynyk's your five, it's going to be a rough year. Now, if Koloko is your backup five, you might get a few more wins
Yeah,
this
let
season.
Captain Canada sit on the bench and coach the guys. I agree with that.
Well, I want Olynyk playing next to Koloko. Play him at the four. He's been a four his whole life. So why are we playing him in a position that doesn't make any sense? Especially on the defensive end. He's not going to be able to match up with some of the bigs in the NBA. So let's put him at the four and let's have Koloko, who is a rim protecting athletic big, Pac 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Not too long ago, that was him. That's what I want to see. I want to see him maybe develop into the future center of this team because Pirtle's got, I think, 3 years left on his deal. But Koloko's going to need time. He might even need half a season in the G League to get ready. He hasn't played in 2 years. So I think it's important that if they do sign him, just I hope they have him ready, quite frankly, or have him ready by the All-Star break for him to come in and play rotation minutes. Don't let him sit on the bench the whole time. Let him play.
The one thing I like about Koloko is pretty much what we're gonna do. Get out of here.
Yeah, you're gonna have some rim protection again. And look, when he was starting for the Raptors in his rookie year, the numbers showed he made a big difference
Yes.
to this team. And I'm thinking, I don't know how good the Raptors are going to be. I won't get into that so much, but I'll say this: Koloko doesn't hurt them.
Don't worry, you'll be back for the season preview. And you can talk about it. Right? I'm cooking it up. Just
if he's on the team. If he's on the team.
Just like you just cooked, I'm cooking it up right now as we speak.
You're cooking.
Coach, I love having you on here, and a lot of the people out there really love seeing you on this platform. And I think you're doing an amazing job, and you're always a great intellectual fellow coaching mind like myself. So I really do enjoy the conversations with you, right? And enjoy your time out there, out east, all the way from the East Coast. Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say to the people out there before you go on hiatus?
I know it's a bit of it's the dog days of the summer in terms of basketball. You're not going to hear a whole lot, but look, training camp's about a month away, a little over a month.
Yep.
And we're going to have a new season, fresh start. Year one of the rebuild, I guess the first full year of the rebuild. And sometimes young teams can be exciting to follow. And let's just watch this team grow. Let's see if Scotty gets to the next level. Let's see what RJ and Quickley can offer us. Let's see what we're going to have from potentially Koloko and Grady Dick and our first round pick, Jacoby Walter. I'm really excited about Jacoby Walter. And I wasn't so much at first, but after watching Summer League, I'm like, there's some 3-level potential scoring here with him. Yep. He needs reps, needs time.
Coach, enjoy your trip, man. and you said blood clot earlier. Tell your tell your wife I said that.
Okay.
Inside joke, ladies and gentlemen. So we're out of here right now. Coach has stuff to do. I got stuff to do. So on behalf of myself, all the way from the East Coast, the coach, Tim Roach, and you guys out there, the To The Point family, and our man out in Lithuania, Arturas, shut up, brother. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and peace.